Ladies and gentlemen, Bibi Netanyahu is striking back against Zorhan Mamdukistan, the Grand Sultan of Jeddah, York. Let's take a look at what Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, has to say to the idiot himself, Zoran Mamdani.
You just heard what Zoran Mamdani had to say. He's calling you a war criminal. You're not welcome in New York City. We, of course, also heard from President Trump on this and many others who said this is absolutely not happening. But what are your plans? Are you still going to come to the UN General Assembly? Are you concerned about coming to New York?
No, I'm not concerned, and I certainly intend to do so. I've appeared just about every year, not every year, but almost every year in my prime ministership, unless there are security conditions. But barring that, and I don't expect that to be the case this time, yes, I do intend to come to New York. The whole thing that the mayor of New York is basing himself on, this criminals, bogus charges, that's what he's using, and look at what he's doing. He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now. And I don't think it's accidental that after he made this hate speech against Israel and against me, the next day, a Jew is stabbed coming out of a synagogue. I think, and with a cry of Allah is Akbar, Allah Akbar. And you know what that means. So I think that it's shameful. This thing is very bad for New York. I think it's very bad for peace. But the answer to your question, I intend to come and speak the truth, speak for Israel and for the Israeli-American alliance from the podium of the United Nations.
Well, this is a very important point that you're making, though, because this rhetoric from Zoran Mamdani is more than just talking about Israel and a personal fight that he's having with you. I'm wondering if you believe that this rhetoric is making Jewish New Yorkers unsafe. And is that what's behind so much upset and this anti-Israel sentiment raging across the country?
Well, I do think that Jews feel very uncomfortable because I speak to quite a lot of my friends, and they say, look, it's like a different world. We're afraid to go into the streets. We certainly do not want to wear yarmulkes or any clothing that would give away that we're Jews. But yes, they feel frightened, and I think that's part of this incitement language that is sweeping a lot of circles with anti-Semitism, a lot of circles in the West, in the United States, and unbelievably, in New York City, which has the second largest Jewish population in the world after Israel. And I think it's wrong. The whole thing is wrong. And what are they doing? I mean, what Mamdani is supporting, his wife, his family, he celebrated October 7th massacre, the worst massacre against Jews since the Holocaust. He's basically supporting, he tries to say that he doesn't, but he's supporting the Hamas murderers who raped our women, then beheaded them, burnt babies alive, slaughtered our men, took innocent people hostages, 251 men, women, children, babies. That's who he's supporting. And they're the ones who are responsible for genocide. They would have killed, as their charter says, and as they themselves proclaimed, they would have killed every single Jew in Israel and every Jew in the world. So the genocide charge belongs to our enemies. What we're doing is try to fight this genocidal terrorist organization that embeds itself among civilians, prevents us from moving the civilians out of harm's way. They use gunpoint. That's where the real criminals are. But Mamdani is aligning himself with the criminals, with these murderers. But the worst thing is that he's tormenting his own citizens, his own voters. No, that is wrong. And I've been to New York so many times, Maria, over the years. I've met all the New York mayors. They all saw themselves as mayors of all New Yorkers, not pitting one part of the population against the other.
Of course. Mr. Prime Minister, let me move on to the war where we saw...
But Mamdani can't, his whole idea is division. That's the only thing that got him in the race in the first place. That's what got him to win, was dividing white people from black people. It's always from the Democratic side, the side that preaches peace and love all the time. It's so funny because the idea is that everyone is racist except for them, that everyone is the worst except for them, that white people are already segregated from black people and everyone hates everyone because of the different color of their skin. But they're like the first people. His whole campaign was based on hating white people and raising the rent for white people. And segregating Jewish people and not recognizing Israel and arresting Netanyahu. His whole thing was based on division and hate. That's the whole election campaign was run on election and hate.
A lot of my friends and family in the NYPD are going to get hurt, if not worse, Mr. Mandandy, and it's going to be on your fucking watch, son. You know who else's watch it's going to be on? You, Commissioner Tish. If you don't get in this fucker's ear and tell him to pull the fucking plug on this, it's going to hurt you too, honey. You see, Mr. Mandandy, you got to understand, you're already on the thinnest of fucking ice. And you cannot fathom the amount of hungry piranhas who lie underneath that ice, anticipating its crack. So you need to the fuck evaluate this life-altering decision you are about to make, son.
A little dramatic and performative from Scott LoBaido. While I agree with the general sentiment, let's be honest. New Yorkers are not going to be rallying for Bibi Netanyahu. They're not going to be standing against Zoran Mamdani's idiocy for Bibi Netanyahu. It's the New York of today. Just not. They're not going to be doing that, and so there isn't any piranhas, unfortunately. While I wish there were, who actually could teach this motherfucker a lesson about what it's like to be a real mayor and how to talk and how to communicate with your citizens in your city. There's nothing's going to be done. No one's going to do anything. No one's going to counter protest. I know, I've said it a billion times. It's like, if you Jewish New Yorkers are out there, you better be throwing a counter protest the day that Bibi Netanyahu lands in Israel or in the United States of America. You better be doing a celebration on the streets for him. Use all the connections you have in the city and throw a full-on parade to show him that no mayor in the history of New York can tell you who and who isn't welcome to New York City, because that's what he tried to tell you. He tried to tell you that Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome to the city. He's trying to tell you he decides who is welcome and who is not welcome. That's not how it works. In America, we don't let Bangladeshi Islamists or Pakistani Islamists who just made it to America yesterday decide who and who can't come to New York City. It doesn't work that way. But nothing's going to be done. I've got no faith. I've got no faith in neither the Jewish community in America to make it happen. And I want to eat my words, by the way. I hope I eat my words. I hope you guys prove me wrong, but I've got zero faith. I got zero faith. Zero faith in any of you guys to do this and to do what needs to be done to show and impose your will onto these people. You are going to have a counter-protest celebration for the genocide or war criminal, and you know what's going to be done with that. You know it's going to be all about Jews and all about Israel, and they're going to tell you that it's about anti-Zionists, not anti. You know already the play. You need to impose your will onto these people. Will you do it? No. That's what it comes down to. That's how you lose your turf. It comes down to the equation of, and I've said this a billion times before, if a Jew, if a Muslim attacks a Jewish community, they know without a shadow of a doubt that nothing is going to happen. They know for a fact that if they attack a Jewish community, nothing is going to happen. There's going to be zero repercussions to them. Jews are not going to be knocking at the doorstep. But if a Jew were to attack a Muslim community, Elohim Yishmo. The Jews know, a Christian knows that if you go and attack a Muslim community, they're coming at you. We don't have it. We don't have the oomph. In Miami, I would say we do. The Mizrahi Jewish community in Miami, they're not to be fucked with. Like, if you fuck around with them, it's tough shit. And I'm being serious about that. I grew up in that community. They don't fuck around. There's some crazy fucking deranged Moroccan Jews out there. And with reason, because they know what it's like to be hard. And this isn't an Ashkenazi Mizrahi thing. There's plenty of Mizrahi Jews in New York. I'm calling you out too, by the way. I'm calling out the Syrian Jews all around New York. Y'all ain't going to do shit. Y'all are not going to do anything. Anything at all. And we know this. We know the play. Nothing is going to be done. And that's how you lose your grip on the city. That's how you lose your neighborhoods. That's how you lose your turf. I'll see you guys in the next one. Very disappointing. I hope I'm wrong.